The main clubs I'm involved in are Floyd Central Dance Marathon, and I'm also on the tennis team. So those are like the two main things that take up most of my time.
I'm involved in Floyd Central Dance Marathon, FC Best Buddies, and Kilt Crew.
Year. I mean, there are some years when we have a lot of students that participate, and there are some students that don't necessarily come to the event itself. If we're talking about Dance Marathon, some years we'll have a lot of exec and a lot of help and a lot of students really come out and be really involved in the club. But really it depends on how many sports they have and how many other things they have going on. Some students are really involved in sports and weren't able to really kind of make the commitment for the actual club. And so some years we have a big exec kind of helping out, and some years we don't have as many. And really it kind of depends on when we get into the actual club, sometimes too many students show up, and it makes it more of a challenge for the events that we host. But some years we have just a small amount.
I do them because most of them revolve around kids, and I love kids, and I love helping out our community.
Honestly, I think as a society we become too selfish, and I think Dance Marathon helps kids realize there are other people out there that need their help and that need them. And so I think that's one of the main goals is awareness of the hospital, as well as watching kids become leaders, watching kids kind of think less about themselves and more about the kids.
So Dance Marathon is really important to me because I know how big of a difference it makes at Riley, and we're really being able to help those kids. And I know that I want to go into pediatric medicine when I'm older, so it's a way for me to be able to help now before I can actually be in the hospital helping. And then tennis, it's just a sport that my family has always played, and it's a way for us to come together and bond over one thing, and I just really love it, and I love the team, and it's just a great atmosphere.
More of kids being involved in too many sports than I see in clubs. I think in general kids become too involved with extracurricular activities. So they find themselves with wanting to add all these things to their resume, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I need to add this, or I need to have this in my resume. And so they add all these clubs, and really they kind of make it so that they can't be involved appropriately within a club, or they make it to where they're spread so thin that they can't put 100% into what they're trying to do. So it really kind of, I see them spreading themselves too thin and not able to kind of put their selves into any one club.
For Dance Marathon, I'm an exec. For Best Buddies, I am the secretary, and for Kilt Crew, I'm a leader, but technically also.
So Dance Marathon, I'm an executive member, and I'm the entertainment exec, so I help plan night of, and I help get all the activities and stuff, and then we all work together as one big exec committee for just all the other planning. And then for tennis, I don't have a set name because we don't really have team captains or anything, but as a senior, I'm one of the 3 members that the coaches come to whenever they have needs or whatever for the season, so just kind of like a team leader.
Sometimes it gets challenging whenever I have a bunch of homework or whenever finals are coming up, but I manage my time pretty well to where it doesn't.
It's definitely a thing that I have to learn time management, but it's helped me a lot be able to manage all my things and know that school is first, and first and foremost I'm a student, so I'm a student athlete, student comes first, but I have to know what I'm committed to and get that schoolwork done in times that I know I'm going to have meetings or practice or whatever. You just have to be able to manage it.
I think it goes back to how spread thin they are. If the student has something every single night, every single minute, filled all the way up till 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, then it does affect their grade because mentally they're not there and they have trouble staying awake in school. So it depends on how actually involved a kid is and how spread thin they are. So I think it can have an effect depending on how much the kid is involved with.